Hi everyone, the circulatory system, as we've already discovered, is responsible for transporting oxygen, nutrients, and other chemicals to our cells and removing waste products. This lesson is going to take a look at an essential component of this system, the blood. We're going to run through the features and function of the four main components of blood, including plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. The first component we are going to cover is plasma. Of the 4 to 5 litres of blood we all have in our body, plasma makes up around 55% of it. So all the other cells that we will speak about later only make up 45%. Plasma is the watery part of our blood, 90% water in fact, that suspends all other cells in the bloodstream. The main role is to carry all those other cells around the body, so all our blood cells as well as digested food, for example glucose, and waste, for example carbon dioxide. Basically, it's incredibly important because it allows all the other cells to do their jobs by carrying them to where they need to be, whether that be our hardworking muscles or our major organs. During exercise in particular, plasma also has the role of regulating our body's fluid content by passing fluid from the blood to body tissue such as our muscles, which may be experiencing dehydration due to loss of fluids through sweat and evaporation. Now let's dive into our blood cells. Red blood cells make up almost 99% of these blood cells. Their more scientific name is erythrocyte, and they are continuously being produced in our bone marrow to replace the worn-out cells. On average, red blood cells wear out after about 4 months, after which they are removed from the body by the liver and spleen. The main purpose of our red blood cells is to carry oxygen around the body. The oxygen is carried by a protein in the red blood cells called hemoglobin. This is the property of our blood that makes it red. During physical activity in particular, red blood cells are not just used for releasing energy through oxygen, but also to carry carbon dioxide, waste, and metabolic byproducts away from the cells and out of the body. Next, we have white blood cells, also known as leukocytes. Although still incredibly important, these are far less populous than their red counterpart. Our blood only contains 1 white blood cell to every 700 red blood cells, but the white blood cells are generally larger than the red ones. These cells only have a lifespan of a few days and, like red blood cells, are continuously being made in the bone marrow. The primary role of our white blood cells is to fight against infection and disease. They are a part of our immune system and instantly move to sites of infection to destroy bacteria and foreign organisms by ingesting or toxifying them. When we exercise, our white blood cell count and activity increases, meaning illnesses can actually be detected earlier by the body. They're also important in sport because staying healthy and free from physical illness is an essential aspect of being able to perform well. Finally, we have platelets. These are tiny blood cells that are found about as frequently as white blood cells, so they don't make up a large portion of our blood. Their purpose is to form blood clots. So when any of our blood vessels get damaged, it alerts the platelets, which rush to the site and form a plug, so to speak, which helps prevent infection and blood loss. During exercise, these cells are especially important, particularly during strength or resistance training. When we put our muscles under stress, for example when lifting weights, it creates very small tears in our muscle tissue. Platelets are sent to these tears to prevent bleeding. That's all for now. Before you go anywhere, remember to get this summary down. So first we looked at plasma. That's the watery part of our blood that is 90% water and makes up 55% of our blood volume. Its function at rest is to suspend and carry other cells around the body. During exercise, it is responsible for passing fluid from the blood to body tissue, such as our dehydrated muscles. Then we looked at red blood cells. These make up 99% of our blood cells, carry oxygen to where it is needed in the body, and during exercise, carry carbon dioxide and other metabolic byproducts away from the muscles. Then we looked at white blood cells. There is roughly 1 white blood cell to every 700 red blood cells, but they are larger than red blood cells. Their main purpose is to fight infection and disease by destroying bacteria. During exercise, their activity is increased and they keep athletes healthy and able to perform. Finally, we looked at platelets. These are incredibly small blood cells and are mainly responsible for forming blood clots at damaged tissue to prevent infection and blood loss. During exercise, they prevent bleeding when muscle tissue is damaged, such as during strength training. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.